Okay, so I've reached a point now where my air pollution is starting to become a bit of an issue, and land value on the edges here has dropped considerably because pollution's getting there. One way to deal with this is definitely focus on education. Try and get rid of that, but what I'm going to do now is a quick way of dealing with it and getting some money as well, is to fiddle with the taxes. Now, taxes are something interesting. You don't put it too high and you decrease demand so that no one wants to live there. Put it too low and you'll bring everyone in, but you're not going to get enough money to support the infrastructure that you've invested in. I'm just going to boost industrial dirty to about 8%, 8.5%. Industry manufacturing to 7.5%. Industry, get that the same. High tech. Commercials all the same, residentials all the same. I don't need to fill all those numbers. I just want to try and decrease the demand for industry dirty right now. Okay, so I've zoned some industry up here. That's because I have some small demand for manufacturing, or some demand for manufacturing, and hopefully the high value land near the commercial center will provide an incentive to build manufacturing rather than dirty industry there. That quite nicely true. Now at this point, if you were playing on your own game, I would say build a town next door that's definitely connected up. I'd say on this side here, you know, just to help these two cities support each other. But I'm going to try and do this one all by itself until it gets to the point where it can no longer support itself. Or it can support itself, but it needs the help of another city just to grow a little bit. Alright, so I've got my first strike here because I wasn't keeping an eye on my high school, and funding has dropped too low. I'm going to boost that up, try and match the number of students, which is going to blow my budget for a while. So to deal with it, just match the numbers, chuck it on high speed. Once you hear the writing's gone away, make sure you bring that back down, because under writing conditions the efficiency of teachers drops. So you have to pay more to get the same amount of work done. So once the write's over, make sure that matches up to what's needed. You keep an eye on your high school and your elementary schools now, because once the sudden influx of population moving in at the start is over, you see those numbers starting to dwindle off, and you should be able to just reduce the amount of school funding a little bit. Just a tad, not too much, otherwise you're going to have more riots on your hands, but something to keep an eye on. And so finally seeing more kids in the college, that's great. I'm going to work on a city ordinance now. A city ordinance is a great way to just pay a bit extra this month to get small little bonuses. There's a few that I really recommend doing. Most of them relate to education, of course. There's the pro reading campaign, the junior sports program, and I'm sure there's another one somewhere. But for now, we're going to stick with the pro reading campaign and the junior sports program. Actually, looking at my budget, I'm probably just going to pick one. Probably just stick with the junior sports program. It's more effective with the schools. The pro reading campaign helps out a lot if you have lots of libraries around. Now these cost you money. There is one that gives you money. That's legalized gambling. It's an extra $100 a month. Catch 22 is it's gonna bring in more crime, and we don't have a police station yet because we simply can't afford one, and we're not big enough to have demand for it. I would have you believe, with a population of 7,500, we don't need one. So hopefully we can see my education have a more efficient effect, and just keep an eye on growth from now on. Alright, so now I'm seeing eventually, about 8 years into the future when I started this game, industry demand is down, now commercial demand is up. So hopefully I'll be able to replace the industry dirty in the center there with commercial buildings, and eventually hopefully a university. But for now on, we need to cater for manufacturing and high-tech industry, which is on the grow. We're going to need to put this in high value areas. We're not going to be able to zone where the dirty industry is and expect high-tech industry to take off, because the land value is lower there because of the air pollution. So up towards the top there, where my commercial center is, we're going to have to start thinking about building up there. Okay, so there was one thing that I like to say that is the catch with heavy industry. Oh, sorry, not heavy industry, industry high tech, and that is it demands a lot of water. So I've just gone and built another tank up here. We'll see how this expansion goes. Hopefully we should see a reflection in more residential high density here, and development in the center. And what do you know? Right, so now we're turning over a tidy profit of about $400 a month, and my dirty industry in the center is really gross right now. A lot of air pollution. We're gonna start thinking about clearing that out. I could tax it some more, push them out through demand like that. So I'm gonna try and take that kind of process, is just to tax them out of the city. Make sure that the demand stays low enough so if I start dezoning the lots, they're not gonna come back and bite me by just rezoning a whole lot more industry dirty on top. You tell how much of a pain in the ass these power things are becoming. Now I like to avoid wind because everything else is, even though it puts out a whole lot more power, it's really irritating in terms of pollution. I'm going to try and stick with wind power as long as possible. As soon as we unlock the solar power, we'll be able to get rid of all those, and we'll see my bank balance just come back a lot, because each of these is $50, and they're producing the tiniest amount of electricity. So even though they're good intentions, they're pretty awful in terms of efficiency. Okay, so now we're starting to see a change now, where the commercial buildings are taking over the dirty industry spot. What I will do eventually is I'm going to build another another railway station here and have another commercial center, just like I do up here. And hopefully we can have a nice big university in the center. That would be rather good. I'm definitely going to need the population to support. So I'm going to have to think about producing more little residential clusters further on down the track, probably out here as well.